going to stream. Oh, we don't, subject does not have permission to create a live video in this group. Oh no. Right, okay. Plan B, we will upload it. Yeah, so I'll upload it into the group then. I don't know why it's not streaming. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. One moment, we'll get going then. It's just taking a minute to load. Won't let me present. Anyone else seeing a reason why that won't let me? Oh, there we go. I promise once it's loaded, we'll get stuck in and it'll be fast paced. So like this getting started. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the waiting room as well. Okay, so everybody, so glad you're all here. I'm super excited to be here. And today for the first week, so how we plan to do this is we're going to start off talking about setting you up for success on your social media platforms. Then next week is going to be more about the content you put in to your strategy. And then week 3 and week 4 will be with Charlie then. So my kind of part of it is getting those people in, making sure we're attracting the right people. And then once you have them, Charlie will be focusing on selling to those people then. So sorry, I'm just letting more people into the waiting room as we go. What we're going to cover today more specifically is understanding the algorithm. It's really important that we just have a basic understanding because that's where it all stems from. Then we're going to be looking at increasing visibility, video visibility, optimizing your profile, and we'll finish off with a Q&A then at the end as well. But feel if it like when it's on your mind, just type it in and I'll come back through the chat at the end. Loads of people still trying to get in. This is exciting. So a little bit about me. As I said, there's lots of people here that I don't know. My name is Audrey. I'm the social coach, and I've been in business for over 20 years. But not in this line of work. I done one-to-many in 2021, and it stems from my theatre schools closing during lockdown. They have reopened. I still do that now, but yeah, I done OTM in 2021. This was not my big idea. It's really, this is a different intro than normal, but this was not my original idea that I done one-to-many with. But the idea I had was working with teens, and I took that over onto TikTok, and that grew really well, really worked. And that kind of got me into a lot of business owners asking me, how did I do it? How do I use TikTok? And things just escalated from there. I started working with Charlie this time last year. I started off just as a social media manager, helping her out with her accounts. And then after a few months, I moved up to head of digital marketing. So, and then I started the social coach in October. So things moved pretty quickly once I kind of had that new idea and totally pivoted my idea. And that would be my advice about one-to-many is you may be going through the process. If you don't have a business yet and you're going in with your big idea, like things will change and it's exciting, but I think you need to have that idea, original idea, to let that move and learn the foundations, and then it does work for any different type of business. Still more people coming in. So today we're going to start off talking about visibility in general. So visibility is the opportunity for your content to be viewed more broadly. It is given to those who post high quality, consistent and engaging content. So them 3 words are super important. So high quality is in 2 ways. So high quality in the content, like is it high quality for that person to take value from it? Or is it entertaining, or is it inspiring? All these different things will make a high quality, and also high quality in terms of how that is delivered. And it doesn't mean having to have a professional setup. It is you know, just making sure the audio is clear, the lighting is bright, if it's a graphic, making sure it's readable, those sort of things will make it high quality. With consistency, I know this quote is from Lisa Johnson. She always says, consistent does not mean constant. With consistency, it is all about building that trust up with the algorithm and with your audience, that if you can't just post 5 times one day and then disappear for two weeks or whatever. If you can set out what you can achieve, so if that means posting 2 times a week, 3 times a week, like every Wednesday 10 a.m. I'm going to drop a post, that is building up that trust with your audience to know to come and check that out. And the algorithm as well knows we're taking it serious, and this is the top of our sales funnel, and we can really make such an impact through social media, organic, for free. So by setting up that consistency and building that trust is where it all stems from. And then engaging content, we will go into a little bit more detail with this next week, but just that people can take something away from it, like they're going to want to stay there and watch the whole thing, and making sure that it's easy to consume. Like when we think of people who are taking in our content, we want to make sure that it's in a way that they can consume it. Like they're not coming on to take on a training. So it needs to be bite-sized, consumable, easy to read, and being able to take the value from it. But we will show you exactly how you can achieve that next week. Sue, I did see you've joined in there. It won't allow me to share it into the Facebook group. I practiced it yesterday because it's on Charlie's account, but it won't work. So I'll just upload it into the Facebook group at the end. So a little overview of the buyer's journey and how it all works for our social media. So first of all, we need to a person will come across our content. So we're putting out a piece of content, they come across it. So whether that's on the For You page on TikTok or the Explore page or recommended posts, all those sort of things. So they found a piece of our content and they decide whether to react to it. Well, even not engaging with it is reaction. So they decide if they want to engage or not. So if they don't engage, less likely they're going to see your content again. If they do engage, and engagement is anything from watching the whole thing. So if it's a reel, if it's a carousel, if they swiped past and read the whole thing, that is a type of engagement. If they like, comment, share, all of those sort of things, save. So if they do any of those types of engagement, they might then come onto your page and start looking at everything else you're about. So if you've done a reel, 3 top tips on whatever your business is about, like what value you're giving, they might come onto your page and look for similar type of content on that specific area. So that is another reason why it's really important to stick to your branding and your messaging and your content pillars, which we will go through. So when they come onto your page, it all makes sense then. So after they come onto your page, they'll have a little nosy. People are naturally nosy. Then they decide if they're going to convert or not. So that conversion could be if become a follower, they could join your Facebook group, they could get your lead magnet, go onto your email list, all of these things, or they can also buy straight away, but less likely. They usually follow you first and then you build up the nurturing part and then it will go into a sale then. So as I was saying, I think it's really, really important that we have a basic understanding of the algorithm, because when we're working with the algorithm, we know what it wants, we know how it's going to get our content out to the right people. Then we can keep that in the back of our minds with every piece of content we put out, because there is no point getting 5,000 views if none of them are your ideal client. So by understanding how the algorithm works, then we can work it backwards then. So it's our job to make it super clear on who that content is for. So a little bit about the algorithm. The Instagram algorithm came about in 2016, and it was just to help the user experience. So as people were putting more content out, and some content was performing better than others, like popular content, some people weren't seeing that because there was no algorithm. So that was just getting lost. So that's how it kind of started. It's like, right, this is really popular. Let's get more people to watch this, because the main aim of the social media platforms, all of them, is to get people to stay on the app. So they needed to make sure that people were getting to see what was the most popular type of content. Since then, it has advanced to making sure that it's showing you the good trending type of content to things that you're already interested in. So it didn't originate like that. It's only like since its development, and it just ensures that users were seeing relevant content to them, which is amazing. And that's why all of our explore page, even our news feed or our TikTok For You page, that's why they will always be different. They're unique to you, they're tailored to you. And as time goes on, they're getting more and more advanced. So like if anybody is on TikTok, whether it's for business or for pleasure, you may have seen how quick that algorithm adapts. So even for me, example, like a lot of my For You page will be business orientated. One time I watched a video on, it was paint pouring. It was like one of those oddly satisfying videos. I love them. But it started feeding out so much of them so quickly just because I stayed and watched one. So that is the unique thing about the algorithm, is that it's really trying to give your ideal client your content because they know that you're going to watch that. So it's trying to match that right content with the right people. So there's a couple of core signals that we need to be aware of, that the algorithm is looking for, like that's going to trigger the algorithm. So number one is who the content is for. So we need to be making sure we have our ideal client avatar profile, and we know who we're trying to target with our content. So what it will do is it will show the content to a percentage of those ideal people, and it will see how it performs. See like the buyer's journey, how many people react, how many people engage with it. And if it does well, it will push it out to another pool of those sort of people. And it will just keep moving up the ranks, moving up the ranks. So if you were to do a piece of content that was for business owners, it was performing well, it will just keep pushing it out to more people who are also business owners. The second thing it looks for then is, what is the content about? What type of content does a person already engage with? So for example, for me, if I was putting in, I create a lot of content around social media tips. So what type of person engages with similar content will be shown mine if it's performing well. So if you interact with lots of social media tips, when someone you don't follow posts quality video, it will be shown to you. So if you think about your niche, like if you're a hairdresser, say, and you're posting a lot about hairdressing, you will most likely be recommended other hairdressing style videos. So it's really good idea to interact with people that are in your niche, because it all triggers each other and helps the algorithm understand what your content is about and push you out to similar audiences. So if you interacted with a creator who has quite a large following, if you go and start commenting on their videos, that is helping the algorithm understand that relationship and will show their audience your content too. And then finally, this is more so for Instagram. We are going to touch a little bit on all different platforms, because really it is about the process rather than the platform. They all have very similar things in common, with just a few tweaks about each one. So with Instagram, when the content was posted is relevant as well. And Facebook too. TikTok, not so much. TikTok have your content is a much longer shelf life and is actually like searchable for years. But when it comes to Instagram, it does look at when it was posted. Even though content is not shown in chronological order, it still has a lifespan. And it's really a couple of days. If you're using Instagram already, you may notice your main engagement comes within the first day of it, maybe the second day, and then it starts to slow down. there are exceptions that every now and again a reel might blow up like a few weeks later, but that is the exception to the rule. They do want to make sure that the content that people are seeing is still relevant to that time frame. And then, as I said there, TikTok have a longer shelf life. You will hear me comparing a lot to TikTok because I'm a TikTok fan. I teach a lot of business owners about TikTok, so I like to just compare, just to open people's minds about it in case that might be something you want to look at as well. I just think with the visibility reach of TikTok is that's why I compare it a lot, because no other platform compares. So what we're going to look at now is the different areas of Instagram, or the For You page. FYP is the page on TikTok. So this is where you will be shown people who you don't already follow. So our goal as business owners trying to increase our visibility is trying to get onto these pages. So trying to reach people that don't already follow us. So the Explore page or the For You page. If you have a think about your behavior on social media, I recommend this all the time. Like, think about what you do. I know on Instagram, I don't use the Explore page very much. But on TikTok, I will probably only really use the Explore For You page. Like, I'm always looking for people that I don't already follow. So the main reason for this type is to find creators that you don't follow. The particular algorithm's job is to marry the right content to the right person. So we need to be making sure it's super clear, and we are going to go through how to make it super clear who your content is for. So this is where we need to be. How we can make it super clear is through our keywords and making it very specific, and not using hashtag trending or hashtag small business. If you're not trying to attract small business owners, if you sell gifts to women who just had a baby, we wouldn't use hashtag small business, because we are not trying to attract those people. That, like, you might be saying it because that's who you are, but the person looking for your product or service, that's what we need to be using our hashtags for, is like who we're trying to attract. Oh. Then the next one is our feeds and our stories. So our feed is, you know, when you're scrolling down, and this is the place where we interact with family and friends. So the main focus of the algorithm is understanding the relationship there. So I have Q engagement stickers. So that's why you will see so many people, so many business owners using engagement stickers in their stories, because as soon as somebody hits an engagement or interacts with that content, that is telling the algorithm, these are friends or these are family, this is a relationship here, and it will show you their content more. So you can be interacting with your ideal clients as well. If you interact with their content, that same trigger goes off. They will still be like, they're friends, let's show them, make sure they're seeing each other's content. So in our stories on Instagram, you know the way it comes up at the top, the circles at the top? You will always see the people who you interact with most, or the people who you watch the most, they will always bump up to the top. So by creating engaging stories and people watch the full thing through, or you put a poll on it and people interact, every time you create a story, those people will see your circle jump to the top first. And then I have at the bottom here is the top tip here is trying to move people from our feeds and stories into our DMs. So again, it's just another trigger telling the algorithm there's a relationship here. They will see more of your content. And even on a bigger scale, like, we can nurture people more, we can get into conversations. But in terms of the algorithm, it is another signal to the algorithm that there's a relationship here. So if you DM somebody, they will definitely see your content then as well, when you're, you know, pumping out all different types of content. Does that make sense to everybody so far? Yeah, everyone okay? And then finally is Reels. So Reels are a great way to get in front of new people using video content. Instagram, I feel last year got a little bit confusing in their own messaging, and they came out and said it themselves. They said they put too much emphasis on Reels. And again, the reason why they done that was because we're trying to keep up with TikTok, and they kind of lost what value they brought. Like I think each platform has its own value, and now they have said that they're pushing all types of content equally. So graphic, carousels, and reels, they push them all equally. But reels are still going to be the best way to reach new people. So if you still follow the main core signals of who it's for, what it's about, and when you posted it, but the main thing reels are looking for, like that core signal that's going to tell the algorithm that this is good, is watch time. We need to be trying to get people to watch our full video. And if they watch the full video, it's telling it, okay, this is good. Let's show it to more people who will also think that's good, because we just want to keep everybody here. We don't want them to leave the app. So that's kind of how it works. So you will see a couple of times, you might have seen it where people loop the video, so you don't even realize it started again, because you get double points from the algorithm if they watch it twice. Or the text moves so fast that you have to watch it again. These are all like little hacks they do. Now, I will do them rarely. Every now and again I'll do them, because I just think, I'm sure it would get annoying on your loyal followers and audience if they constantly have to watch something twice. So just be careful of that, that's not too annoying. You may have seen when people like put the text up and it disappears really fast. So what I will do, if I'm going to do it that way, I will still put a bit of text there saying, get ready to screenshot, so they know it's going to be fast and they can screenshot it. So that's another way around it. So you're still kind of being careful about it, not just looking for the views all the time. But another way to make sure that the watch time is just keeping the videos short and snappy. So some of the video kind of basic foundations is making sure it's between 7 and 10 seconds when you're first starting to build your audience. So we want to, and if you haven't been creating video content, that might feel like, oh, how would I even get any information out there? You will be surprised how much information you get out there, because we don't introduce ourselves. Like, the people watching it don't really care who we are at that moment. They just want to get the information from it. So we need to go straight in with a hook. So a hook is the first thing you say in the first 1 second. So we literally have between 1 and 2 seconds before people will scroll on. Think about how fast people are moving through their content, how they're flying through these videos, constantly being able to be fed all this stuff. So we need to be able to grab people's attention with our hook in the first 1 to 2 seconds. And hooks are things like, if you want to grow your business, you need to stop doing this, or here are 3 ways that you can explode your sales, or something like a headline on a newspaper, something that's going to grab them in. So we have our hook at the start, and then we're giving our value. So whatever the message of that video is, and we'll talk about that more next week. And then we're finishing off with a call to action. So our call to action can be a soft call to action, which is something like, comment an emoji if you agree, or double tap if you want this, tag a friend too. So it's just very easy for people to get involved. And then a hard call to action is more of a sales call to action, where you want them to take that next bit of action. You know, if you're saying head over to my bio or click the link, well, you can't really say click the link, but if you were trying to get them to move to another place. I think when it comes to sales call to actions, we need to be careful and making sure that they're being used on content that is for people who already follow us, because we need to nurture these people in first. So if you're just getting started off, if you're only starting to grow an account, only kind of getting a lot of a new audience, I would stick to the kind of softer call to actions. When people comment on it, so drop an emoji if you agree. Let's use that as an example. When someone drops that emoji, then you can reply to that comment, asking a question and getting into a conversation that way. So I do go into this a little bit more in today. So I don't know why I went on that spiel. I'll have a nice diagram further ahead. And before we move on, so that's enough about the algorithm. That's all we really need to understand for now. But before we do move on, if anybody isn't using social media yet, and anything that I say that doesn't make sense yet, just take what you can from it, enough to get you started, because I understand how overwhelming social media can be. It is a minefield, but I don't want that to ever stop anybody from creating, because the quickest way you're going to learn is just to get started. You will learn along the way. So take the bits that you can get started off with now and come back to this and take more tips from it then. So how do we actually boost engagement and visibility? Now we know that what the algorithm are looking for. Let's have a look. I haven't looked at my notes once, so I hope I didn't skip anything during that. So number one way is SEO. So SEO, search engine optimization. The most effective way to get your content in front of the right people. So the algorithm actually scans our content in 5 different ways, looking for keywords that they can match what this is about, who it's for, everything that we talked about, and the phrases that you use. And it will then match that to the people. So the places where we place our keywords, if we're doing a talking video, like a straight to camera, it will scan the words that we speak for those keywords. So make sure that you're using your keywords in the message you're giving when you're speaking. Also the text on screen, when you add any text onto your screen, it will look out for the keywords there as well. Into your captions, so the bit that you write underneath your video, and also your hashtags as well. I said, where's it? I'm trying to think, because I was like, I said 5. Oh, if it's a graphic on Instagram, in the alt text, it scans that as well. So they're the 5 places that it looks for the keywords for the algorithm to understand who the content is for and what is it about. So making sure we can hit as many of those as possible to give ourselves the best opportunity to get in front of the right people. So a little bit more about keywords, and Instagram are only really starting becoming heavily focused on keyword search. It used to be more about hashtags and all of that, but it is moving towards keyword search, and TikTok already is. So TikTok, you could post a video. It's very similar to YouTube. If you post something, if you search for something in the search bar, the most popular video could have been 10 years ago, and that will still be the one that comes up first. TikTok is very much like that now as well. The younger generation use TikTok as a search engine rather than Google, which is insane. But it's true. So keywords are the ideas and topics that define what your content is about. In terms of SEO, they're the words and phrases that searchers enter into search engines, also called search queries. So if you get in the mind of your ideal client, what are they going to type in when they're looking for what you sell? Or if they're trying to figure out the answer to the problem that they have, or the answer to the questions that they have. That's the mind frame we need to think about when we're thinking about our keywords. You want your content and your captions to include the words, oh, that's literally what I said first, so they have a better chance of finding your content among the results. So say you offered skincare for acne prone skin. So you need to get into the mind of the people who are going to be looking for that, and what questions are they going to be asking? And there's ways we can get help with this. We don't have to figure it all out ourselves. So number one way, even if you don't use TikTok for your business, it is a great research place. So if you go onto TikTok and in the search bar, start typing your niche, and all these words in bold is what people have been searching for. So phonics vowel, phonics alphabet, all of these would be keywords. And you can make a list of those and make sure you're including those in, if it's relevant to the video you're about to post. Putting it in those places, like we said, the words you speak, the text on screen, in your captions, and in your hashtags. You can also do the same thing in Google. When you type it in and you hit search, it will come up as people also searched for, And that will be another way of finding keywords and phrases. YouTube and Pinterest all do this as well. TikTok users can view how their content is being categorized. So this is my TikTok account down here. And see up here in the search bar, social media marketing tips. That's telling me what the algorithm thinks my content is about and who it's pushing it out for. So it's pushing it out to people looking for marketing tips. So like obviously on this video, I've hit the mark with the keywords I've used. And if you're using TikTok, if it says up here, find related content, it means it hasn't picked up exactly who it's for. And that still happens for me. So I go back into that one and I look at it. I'm like, okay, where did I leave my keywords out? Like what is the difference? Why has it picked it up here and not picked it up somewhere else? And then you can learn from that and make your next piece of content more visible then. So here we are again. 6 places. Oh, I've added another one now. So 6 places you can use keywords on Instagram, in your username, your display name, your bio, captions, hashtags, and your alt text. We're going to go through. I have a little workbook that I'm going to send at the end as well that will help you with all this. So don't worry about writing that down. And feel free to screenshot any of these slides as well. So another tip then is to post consistently. So as you're saying earlier, builds trust with your audience and with the algorithm. And you're also rewarded for being there. Like if you're being consistent, the algorithm is like, okay, these are serious users of our platform and they will reward you by giving you more views and getting you out in front of more people. So just to move away from Instagram a little bit, I have here about using Facebook, leveraging your personal profile as a business owner. Now, some people don't want to do this, so you could set up a personal profile to use for your business if you don't want to use your actual personal profile. So share a post from your business page to your personal one is going to help the algorithm push you out more, because when you share it, a lot of your family and friends will be like, oh, like what she's doing, oh, that's great, give that a like, or tell John down the road. Like I can hear my mom outside there and she will always share my content. And although she's not my ideal client, someone she shares them with might, and it's reaching more people. So that is going to push the original post on the Facebook page, will increase visibility that way there too. And also this one, I think a lot of people forget about, is to engage as your business page. You know, if I'm sure Lisa would have gone through this already, or it might be this week, breadcrumbing in groups. So when you're breadcrumbing, you can actually do that as your business page. It doesn't always have to be as your personal page. And it's just getting more eyes brought to your business page. Yeah, like I think I actually don't do it often enough as well. I barely use Facebook in general, apart from my group. But engaging as your business page is just going to bring more eyes back to that page and where they can find out more about your business, rather than always in groups. A lot of people are interacting as their personal page. You're leaving some value or you're helping somebody out. They click on your personal page profile, and unless it's there about your business, there might be not enough there to move them onto the next level, to the next stage of that buyer's journey. Follow the follow. So this means to follow popular people in your niche. Go through their comment section and follow and interact with their followers. Like they've done so much hard work to get that audience in, full of your ideal clients. So let's get in there and like take advantage of that a little bit. So go through the comment section and follow and interact. So you can follow those people, or you can just interact on what they commented, like I agree, I disagree, blah, blah, blah. And they will come and check out your page, because they'll be like, who is this person who agrees with what I said, or who disagrees, or whatever, added more value. People are naturally nosy and they will go and check you out. So yeah, that's a really, really good one to do. And like I was saying earlier, that will help with the algorithm understanding who you interact with and what your content is about then. Invite people to talk. So like when we were talking about call to action, give them a prompt to talk to you and without making it too difficult. So I had a one-to-one client who was really struggling to get any engagement. So I done an audit and we were looking at it, and our storytelling was amazing in the caption and it drew me in and I was reading it. But the call to action was like, what's your opinion on this matter? And I just feel like it was a broad question, and it would have taken me time to think about it. So I would just not bother. I would just move on because that's just too much thinking. Whereas if she had said, comment yes if you've been in this situation, I can go and comment yes, and then she can ask me the question, well, what part of it, like what bit of it resonates with you, and build up the relationship that way, because trying to get that initial engagement is quite hard. I've just left an example here of how to make it not too difficult, but making them want to find out more. So click here for the 10 tips that will help you make more sales. Or if I said, I love tip number 5, which is your favorite, that sparks a bit of curiosity because they'll want to know what tip 5 is, what's so special about tip 5. So it might be even subconsciously, once they see something being pulled in, sparking that bit of curiosity will bring them in, find out, and then they will comment, I like tip 9. And then you can ask the questions and build up that conversation from that. Commented on your own post. So sometimes people just don't want to be the first one to comment. And again, it could be a subconscious thing, but if no one else has commented and somebody really likes your video and really has something to say, they just don't want to be seen as the first person. So you can be the first person to comment on your own video. You can drive people to the comment section. So in your caption, you could give four of the tips or 4 parts of the puzzle and be like, check out the comment section for a bonus tip. And then you write it in there, and people are going to be more likely to you've driven them to the comment section, read it, and then they're more likely to comment. You can ask a question or you can add value in the comments. Usually on TikTok, my first comment is pulling something out of my video. So I'll be like, did anyone else notice that the picture was crooked in the background, or something like that? Like, I make it quite lighthearted, and most people ignore that, but because there's already a comment there, people are more likely to leave what they want to leave then as well. Even if you're using a scheduling app, a lot of them have updated now to start, you can schedule the first comments. Now I don't do that, but it's just shown us the importance that getting that first comment, how important that is to have a first comment there. And then also we have our initial commenters. So stick around to reply to your first few comments straight away. So the more instant engagement we get, the quicker the content will be pushed out further. So have you ever posted a video and the views may go up really, really fast? Most likely it's because that engagement is happening very, very fast. Sorry, I pressed something there. Yeah, so especially, I do agree with scheduling content. I 100% schedule content, but I schedule it for times that I'm around. So it's off my mind to have to create a post and all that. I know that's taken care of, but I will schedule it for times that I know I can jump on and reply to those first few people commenting. That is super important as well. Comment. Oh, I don't like the way this keeps fading back in. It makes me feel it's going to be a new slide, and it's not. So I keep losing my place. Answer the questions they are asking. So this website here, if you haven't heard of it, it is amazing. Answerthepublic.com. If you type in your niche, it will give you so many content ideas and inspiration. These are all the questions that people are asking about that topic. I think you get 1 free search a day, and it will give you between 50 and 100 different things that people are asking. You use that for your keywords, use that for your content ideas, and it will tell you specifically what questions people are asking, because a lot of times we think we know what our audience wants to hear, but a lot of the time we may be missing what they're actually genuinely asking now. Another way is when I was saying about going finding creators in your niche and looking through the comment section. The questions that they ask there are really good content prompts for you to use as well, because you know that these are the questions that they're looking for answers for. So we can be the ones to provide the answer as well. And TikTok is an amazing place for that, because the engagement level on TikTok is a lot higher. So bigger creators will their comment section is always full of conversations, always full of questions. And I'll go in there and I'll write a list of questions people are asking. I'll leave that page and I'll go and create content that's answering those questions. Storytelling. So share your unique experience, client experience, stand out from the crowd. This is a big thing that next week when we talk about content strategy and we talk about educational content, and I think it's important to see the shift in educational content. So you will see a lot of people, and I do it too, here are 5 tips, or here are 3 tips, or here's how to get from A to B. And that is good. That's going to help build our credibility, build our authority. But people, if you think of YouTube, if you were searching something in YouTube, like how to roast a chicken, I don't know, how to roast a chicken, and you got a YouTube video, you would watch the video to get the instructions. You wouldn't subscribe. Most likely you wouldn't subscribe. You would just leave because you have the information you want. That's starting to happen with short form content as well, like reels and stuff. People are searching for what they want to know. They get that information and they don't follow because there's no reason to. They know they can just search for the next answer. So what we need to do is make our educational content unique to us, rather than just giving those 3 tips. Tell us a little bit more about like the experience of it. So if you were, again, say you're a hairdresser and how to do balayage in under 10 minutes or something like that, if you could tell us your experience of it. So this client came in, blah, 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 like tell a bit more of a story around it, or your client experience, how you moved a client from A to B. It's a really hard balance to get the story, to get it short paced and all of them things, but helping you stand out from the crowd as much as you can. Offering a variety of content. So I have here the 4 C's. We're going to go through this next week. This is my favorite kind of content strategy that you can work it around you and your business and what message you want to get out there. But the number one thing that will increase the likeliness of someone to follow you is offering a variety of different types of content. And also it will help us nurture that audience and how to sell to that audience as well. So we will go into more depth on this next week, but just have it there as a way that we do increase visibility. Analyze and adapt. It's super, super important to make sure we do look back. So many of my clients are like, oh yeah, I never look back at my analytics. It's so important to see, pardon me, it's so important to see what's working and what's not, because then we know what to repurpose. We don't have to keep coming up with new ideas all of the time. We can repurpose, we can recycle. Like I posted a video the other day of how to turn one content idea into 21 types of content. We don't need to like constantly be thinking, what do I need to create next? And by analyzing, we can see what type of content our audience enjoys, what they're engaging with, what's going to make them more likely to buy or to come onto our lead magnet or whatever it may be, join our Facebook group, and we can do more of that. If we're not checking, we could be doing things that aren't working and it's just a waste of time and energy. Social media does take time and a lot of energy. So the more we can refine that and make sure we're doing things that we're going to get that payoff. Because when we're not getting that payoff, a lot of people are like, I keep posting and I'm not getting the results and I'm fed up now, so I just don't post anymore. And that breaks my heart a little bit, because I know how amazing it can be for your business when it's done in the right way, and it doesn't have to take up all your time and energy. And analyzing and adapting is definitely one of the ways that's going to help you make social media work for your business. moving on now, a little bit more focus into your stories on Instagram. A good visibility hack is, I do this probably once a week, like probably over the weekends because I take weekends off. Well, kind of. Let the story expire. So when you post a story, it lasts 24 hours. And normally if you're posting every day or coming onto your stories every day, it never expires. Like there will always be something there. But when you don't post anything for 24 hours, it's expired. And then the first one that you do again includes an engagement sticker on it. So whatever it's about, if it's going to be a poll, yes, no, hit the emoji button, any of those engagement stickers, that is going to signal to the algorithm that, because people will engage with it, and that's telling the algorithm this is unmissable, people need to see this, and it'll push it out to more people. So you will always notice your first story back after they've expired will have the most views out of all your stories. Treat stories in the same way as you do your video content, like we were saying in Reels, having that hook, message, and call to action. We need to stop treating stories like a add-on, just sit and chat about how our day is. Because again, when you think of consumer behavior on social media, I don't scroll the feeds on Instagram. Like, so I'll very rarely be able to engage on people's reels and content and stuff, because that's not how I consume content. On Instagram, I like to look at people's stories. That's where I'm going to see your content. So if we are just only sharing the casual, what you're up to day by day, they're not being nurtured in the right way. They're not knowing about the offers you promote. They don't know about the value that you can give. You're not building up that authority. So making sure that your stories need to have a bit of a strategy as well. So when you're thinking about, today I'm going to post a reel on, I don't know, I'm so bad at thinking of examples. Today I'm going to post a reel on how to save time using social media. So I post that reel. Then I can come onto my stories and I can tell a bit more of the story. I can break it down a little bit more. I'd be like, I had this client who was almost just about to give up their business because social media wasn't working for them. They weren't making any sales. But once I told them about these tips on how to save time, so you can expand on it and you can link people back to the reel. So again, it's not enough just to share the reel straight to your stories. It's not giving any context for people. It's really, really good to start getting in the habit of, when you're planning your content, what you can say in your stories to that as well. I'm just going to have a sip of water because I don't know, I can't breathe. So yeah, I actually, my last launch, I think I was telling somebody on this, my last launch, my TikTok course, I only posted on the grid 3 posts, maybe 4, and all of the rest of the selling was done through my Instagram stories. And it was a good, successful launch. So it is definitely something to consider, and not just as it's non-negotiable anymore. People are selling more in stories than the grid because consumers get savvy and they know when you're selling to them through a grid post, you know. So yeah, really, really want to emphasize that point on stories. Adding 3 to 4 per day if possible. Sorry. So that bumps you back up to the top. So 3 to 4 stories. It doesn't matter how many segments long it is, but 3 different times throughout the day. That is what they recommend that you do. Because every time you put a new one up, you will be bumped back to the start of that grid. So people who interact with you will be like, oh, Julie has just posted something again. Let's go see what she's up to. Again, I said that, link stories to the content you're posting, feature comments and DMs. So people love to be acknowledged. So if somebody has left you a really nice comment, take a screenshot of it, put it as a photo on your stories and talk about it, and it will encourage more people to comment and interact with you as well. And DMs, just with DMs, just make sure you do hide the name and stuff. But it does so much for the person who has left you that comment or DM feels valued and feels nice that you've shared it, but it also provides social proof for you as the business owner. And it's letting other people know that you value their response, so more people respond to you, but also that you have customers or potential customers, and instantly that will just boost your credibility, and people be like, oh, I want to know what she's up to as well. Use the green screen to illustrate your message. So this is in stories. So same thing again, like I was just saying, if you took a screenshot of something like a testimonial, or like for me as a social media coach, I could share the analytics of one of my clients and use the green screen so it's behind me and I can point and talk through it. So it just makes it a little bit more visual and engaging for people. And I have in capital letters here, use captions. Again, thinking of your own social media behavior. I mostly watch Instagram stories on mute. I don't listen to it. So we have to use captions. So obviously to, you know, for people who can't hear it, but a lot of people choose not to have the sound on. So if we're not using captions, straight away, we're losing a good percentage of our audience. And I would even add on to that, that if you didn't want to use captions, and a lot of people will suggest doing this, is to actually type it out, not word for word, just like a recap bullet point of what you're talking about. Because if that video is a minute long, some people might not want to sit there and listen to you for a minute and have to wait for the captions to go through. So if you just do it as bullet points, people are getting that information and they can move on. Like, people are just always in a rush these days. So we need to be getting our values across in a way, like I said at the start, in a way that's easy and consumable, that they can take straight away. Again, okay, so I'm going to go through this again. Story should not be a last minute throw something up. If your audience is, the only way they see you is through stories. If they're not looking at your grid post, they're not going to know the value and the things you have to offer. So we will not be making sales on that account if we're not using stories in a way to promote these things. So it's important to use both. And this 10-minute makeover is the workbook that I'm going to send you all. So I'll drop the link in the Facebook group. And it's just a little 10-minute makeover that I want everybody to commit to here and now, that you're going to take action on it. And it's just about update, you know, making sure your profile is optimized for maximum results, where you can put your keywords, what should be in your highlights, what should be in your bio, all of these different things. So drop a yeah in the chat if you're going to schedule 10 minutes this week to get through your 10-minute makeover. And I always finish my trainings with this is to remember, because I know how overwhelming social media can be, because I've been there myself. We need to commit to take action, but we also have to remember that to be a culture of progress, not a culture of perfection. It is so easy to compare to somebody that, you know, has been in social media for quite a while, or has help with it, has a social media manager, or has somebody else editing their videos, or it took them 5 hours to record that reel, but you just saw 10 seconds and it looks amazing, but that could have taken them all day. So we can't compare to other people. We need to just start at our starting point and progress, and not try to be perfect straight away, because what will happen is it will hold you back and it will stop you from making any progress at all. So let's all be a culture of progress and action takers. And I do have a free Facebook group if you want more tips. It's called Social Media Tips for Small Business Owners. And also there's loads of ways there that you can find me in every other way. I will stop sharing the screen and happy to answer any questions. You can unmute yourself and I'll have a quick scan through the chat as well, to see what I've missed, because I can see all the chat and going. So let's have a look. Okay, yes, in the makeover, yes, taking in all the notes when it's brand new for the business. So for me, it's grabbing that ideal client my way. Yeah, so straight away, Katie, knowing who that ideal client, what are their search for? So keywords is most important to you. This 10-minute makeover, it's not going to be a makeover for you. It's going to be setting you up for success. You can start straight away with all those points. Everything on your Instagram bio, like your name, your display name, your bio, are all searchable. So including your keywords in all them places as well. So this is going to be really helpful for you with that. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I love all the S's. Yay! Absolutely, yes. Would these tips apply on LinkedIn? Yeah, so all of these will work in the same way, and each different platform has their own little unique culture, and that's what the difference is. So I don't use LinkedIn. I don't know much about it. I tend to avoid. So we don't, and that's another thing actually, we don't have to be on every single platform. Like it would be impossible if you were a one-man band and you were just building your business. So pick the ones where your ideal clients hang out and the ones that you enjoy. So I love TikTok and I love Instagram. So they're my main focus ones. And then I have a Facebook group where I move people to that I build a relationship with. So everything I spoke about applies to all them platforms. It's just when it comes to the actual content and how people engage with content is what's different. Let me see any other questions. Does anyone want to unmute themselves if anybody has a question to ask? I struggle to figure out how to get my ideal clients to follow me. So making sure we have those keywords and applying them all the time is making sure they're getting in front of the right people. And then it's the content that's going to get them to follow you. So our job is to make sure we're telling the algorithm who it's for and that the content is enough to get people to follow us. And a lot of the times that call to action can be follow for more tips, follow if you want to know what happens next, like asking people to follow you. No problem. That person's probably gone. Fab. Sorry if can everyone understand me okay? Because I know I do talk fast with an Irish accent. Yeah, yeah. Okay, fab. If you've no questions, I will drop the link in. I'm still going through here. How do you know the optimum time to post? So in your analytics, if you're starting off on a new account, the more content you get out at the start, the quicker you start getting the analytics and the data to understand this. When it comes to optimum time to post, they will tell you, your analytics will tell you what time. I don't follow that, to be honest. I follow, because it might be the best time that people are active, but might not be the time that most people engage, or there might be a multitude of reasons. So I picked what time is best for me to post because I can engage with those people who follow, and over time, my optimum time to post changed. So yeah, there's loads of different opinions on this, but I would say the optimum time is the time that you can be there to interact with people, because I think that's what's most important, is building the relationships. Can you explain breadcrumbing again? So breadcrumbing is when you go into groups and you just offer value, advice. You're not trying to sell anything. You're just making yourself known for what you do in a load of different groups. Can you read the text on the graphics and videos? Can it read? No. So it has to be done in the app. So what I do when I'm repurposing a video. So sorry, I didn't fully read that question. I'm about to read it out. Can you read the text when the graphics and videos are made outside of Instagram? So no, it can't. So if you're making it outside of every platform wants you to make it within the app, but obviously we can't do it for every app. So what I do is I pick my main platform. For me, it's TikTok. I'll make it in there. I'll download the video. And when I'm putting up on Instagram, it's not going to read that text. So I will add text to it with my keywords, make it small and drag it off the screen because it can scan that text and it doesn't interfere with the video, but the algorithm can still pick up what it means. Tiffany, does that make sense, Tiffany? So what is alt text in the graphic? So alt text is describing what the graphic is. So it's for people, visually impaired people. That's why it's set up. So it will describe what the video or the graphic is about. So it still has to describe what it is, but you could make sure it includes your keywords. How long should a reel be? If you're only starting to build your audience, I would say between 7 to 10 seconds. Engagement stickers are paused a quick way. Oh, sorry. Oh, Hannah, thanks for answering that message. I'm driving but listening, no problem. I think that's all the questions. Let me go back down to the end. And if that is it, we'll be done. Is it useful to follow and interact with more of the accounts that I'm now aligned with? Yeah, definitely. 100%. If you're rebranded and it's a total new niche, like a total new ideal client, I would start a new Instagram page altogether. A lot of people ask, can they run 2 businesses from one Instagram page to save time? And you can only do that if it's the same ideal client. Otherwise, the algorithm's not going to learn what you're about and be pushing it out to people that are not relevant to you. I'm completely new to social media. I have a Facebook page, business page. I've got really no clue where to start. It might be an age thing. Judy, you are not alone. This is so common. And if you have a Facebook page and a business Facebook page, then start off with that. Like, you don't have to be on every platform. Start off with that, get familiar with that, see, does that work for you? See, is it going to start attracting people in for you? And if not, when you're ready, then you can start trying one other one. Don't try loads at the same time, because it's just going to be too much and you will end up not making any progress then at all. I know today was very Instagram orientated, so I hope like a lot of the stuff you can still take and apply to Facebook as well. Do I set up an Instagram business within my personal Instagram account? So no, if you set up another Instagram account, it's completely separate. Like, they wouldn't be linked to a personal Instagram account. It's not the same in that way as Facebook. Yeah, it's the same as Facebook. No, so there'd be 2 separate things. So you just need to have separate email addresses for them. So you can set up as many accounts as you want, just with different emails. Taking in all the notes. Brand new. Oh, I've done that one already. I think we're done. What do you mean by story? My first story back on stories. So on Instagram, I'll show you here. I hope it's one of you. Oh, see up here, all these people. So Kim and Cassie, they may have posted this morning, but because I always watch their content, they're right at the top of my list. They're the people that I mostly engage with. Is it worth having a Facebook page and a Facebook group? I just converted my personal profile to business and my group's doing well, but should I use a business page too? So as much as you can handle, the more places we are, the better we're going to be able to reach more people. I don't use my business page because there's just too much going on. So my group works well for me. I will link my Facebook page to my Instagram, so some things just automatically get posted, but I don't spend time there. And I know I'm not going to attract many people there because I'm not spending time there. So if you can, if that's the place you want to use it, then go for it. But should I use a business page too? If you want to add one, you can. If your Facebook personal profile is doing well for you and your group is, maybe try Instagram rather than another place on Facebook. Fabulous. Well, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. If you want to pop any questions in the group, I'll drop the link to this workbook. I hope you found it helpful. But as I said, anything that you are not quite ready to implement, just take what you can, get those starting points and just start there. And then we'll do the same next week. We'll start off making sure everybody can take something from it, and we will build upon it that people who are using social media a bit more can take even more from it. So thanks so much, everybody, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.